Hey, it's Sean Callagy. We're back with Morning Mastery. This has been a crazy run because we've been Date with Destiny. So, quite frankly, I'm not even sure what day it actually is. It might be like Monday, I think, turned to Tuesday we are. And so, 87 countries have been represented here. And we are sitting with Nicole, aka Little Sugar. What's up,
Nicole?
Little Sugar, and you have like new transformational names or something for yourself.
Oh yeah, it's now Little Firecracker, boom. And I also manifested this pizza at 3 a.m. It's my destiny.
So, like, all kidding aside, Nicole, what's going on? It's like 3 o'clock in the morning.
We're having a pizza poster party.
Yes.
It's amazing.
All redesigning our destiny, so thank you, Nicole, aka Little Sugar, aka Little Dynamite, boom, right?
Well,
so,
that's good.
well, yeah, absolutely. What's like crazy about all this is that a lot of times people are like, wait, Mariah can't even not be in the video when she's not in the video. It's like, that's Mariah Brown, ladies and gentlemen.
Mariah!
So, that manifesting herself into the video. So, right? So we're kidding, right? So,
Your co-host.
you're come over then. Let's go. We're shooting the pizza party poster video.
Sure.
I do have supersonic hearing. Thank you, Mariah. So in all of this, people are in Tamara.
Yes.
A lot of times, by the way, Tamara is working in leadership at this event, and one of her crew was a group of folks from Russia, right? Or what were you doing?
I was assisting our team of.
Now, why don't you have a lot of energy right now? She's like, I gotta get my energy up. I gotta stand up. I'm like, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. We're here to show people like what actually goes on when people think, oh no.
There she goes.
Here we go.
Beautiful state.
Oh boy. So, that is at 3
Beautiful
o'clock in
state,
the morning.
ladies and gentlemen.
Excellent. You gotta like that. So what was going on? Like, what were you doing at the event? I mean, you're leading people, helping, and what was your?
So I was literally assisting people with something I didn't know I was capable of, and that was my breakthrough. I had 3 participants come up to me, asking me, "Am I a coach here?" And I said, "I can help you. What's your question?" And I took them through some of the processes. One of them started crying, which for me was like, oh my God, I can't believe I made someone cry. In a good way, in a very positive way. That means the person had a breakthrough. Another person just couldn't believe the rules and balance he had. He's like, I don't know, you don't know what is going on inside of me right now. And I was so upset and pissed. I just had to calm him down and said, don't worry, this is going to be changing soon. So I had to comfort him a little bit.
Pretty cool.
For me, it was really breakthroughs that I couldn't believe I was able to do that for people.
That's awesome.
And that was
And you're helping translate for people on top of it, right? Like,
Yeah.
that is really, really
Yeah.
cool. So, Jeff, how was your experience? Like,
I mean, it's amazing. It was just all about being there for them and helping them and, having them drink a lot during the seminar, giving them water, and then all just said, oh my God, you are angel. You are angel.
and you know what's amazing? It's like
This is great.
you're super talented, successful person in business, and here you are just serving, and taking care of people and translating and bringing them drinks, and on our team, we just had such amazing, wonderful people just doing all these little things of taking care of people, and a big part of why we film these morning mastery videos and have talked about the mastery movement, which by the way is influencers influencing influencers to merge ecosystems. It's really all about the idea that people, so often think it's weird or odd and they're not interested in doing these things. And this is what it looks like to, all of us have challenges, all of us have things that we want. And this is what it really looks like to go for it, and you miss sleep, you miss food, right? We have some food here, finally.
Your family.
But yeah, you miss your family, it's hard on everybody. Probably
You miss your, niece's first birthday.
Yeah, thank you. And probably, probably 3/4 of the room, maybe 90% of the room probably cried today. And people are like, oh, what a bunch of nonsense, Kool-Aid drinking, wacky, crazy stuff. the level of success in that room is utterly unbelievable. But I think more importantly, the level of love. You have people in that room that make far more than professional athletes. A lot of people in that room do. And they're there taking their game to another level, helping people, like doing everything they possibly can to bring energy. And then you have like Tony, who doesn't have to be doing this. Like the guy could come in there and deliver for an hour, and everybody would pay to be there.
Yeah.
Everybody would pay a fortune to be there. And he comes on every day and delivers for like 10 hours or 9 hours, 11 hours.
Until 2, 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, like it's crazy. So the question for this morning mastery really is, you know, for me, I'm asking myself, hey, if he could be doing that, like, where can I take my game to another level and just love the process? So, because a lot of times people, I think, when they hear about personal development and growth, they confuse it with becoming somebody they don't want to be, right? And Nicole, would you agree with this? Right? Little shirts?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Right?
Give me some sugar.
Yeah, and let me ask Rob Gill this. Let me turn around and Rob Gill for a second. So, you know, Rob's here. What's up, Big Sugar?
What's up, Sean?
So real quick, brother, like for you, not over what the event's been, but when people say this, you're like, this is so ridiculous. Why would you do something like this? What would your answer be? And this isn't a Tony Robbins sales pitch. This is a pitch about, I don't care what you do, right? Taking your life to a different level. Whoever's book you read, listen, I think there's nobody in the history of the world that does it like Tony Robbins does, period. Objective proof on that, social proof authority, but let's say it's not your taste. Whatever your taste is, there's a mechanism for producing results at a higher level. What do you say to people who are like, this is a bunch of ridiculous nonsense?
Well, first of all, happy Trajectory Tuesday, and I want to thank Sean for doing another video with us and everybody that's here, because this is what it really looks like when you see entrepreneurship and you see something being built. People actually do that right now. These are things I didn't know, but as far as what I would say, it was funny, I was on a call before, and somebody said, yeah, how's the cult? And normally I would try and defend it, but I was like, no, don't worry about it. It's all good. And I went right back to what I was talking about.
Or how about this, dude?
Because I couldn't even get into it.
You know, call it whatever you want. If you don't want this, I guarantee you, and I'm like going to real levels now. Like that's a part of my breakthrough is telling people the truth. Because I would sugarcoat things when I upset people. Dude, like, if you think that you're gonna live your life in a truly extraordinary way, at a truly extraordinary rich level, without any level of personal development, you got a 1% chance, in my opinion. And I would challenge you and say, come to a place like this and walk into that room and follow anybody in that room
For 6
in their
days.
day-to-day for 6 days and see whose life is richer.
Yeah.
And I'm bringing it to that level. That's how I talk.
Yeah.
Right. So this isn't like, well, you know, like, I'm talking that way.
Well, my thing with that is, what's the alternative? If some people consider it a cult, what's the alternative? Show me the alternative. Show me something that's better than what something like this produces in every single area of life. And to your question before, I did have a major breakthrough. In some of the meditations, I was able to tap back and see my father and my sister. But there was something in particular that kind of was going back to 2012, a turning point in my life, in my career, and in our personal life. And I realized in the moment of deep meditation that I made a conscious decision to guard myself emotionally from everybody. And what I forgot, and this woman touched on it before, is I set up some rules that were so dominating me that it wasn't in that moment of meditation that I realized that it's time to go back to who I really am, and that's someone that connects and loves.
And can I drill this down?
And I was so excited about that, but emotional.
No, drill it down for you real quick. So what Rob just said, right, is that we all have these emotional states that we exist in, right, Tamara, right? And Nicole and Rob and I and everybody here, you do, and everyone does, right? And we don't consciously choose them. It happens to us by accident, right? By our parents, a movie we watch, anything that shapes like this identity that you have for yourself, I have, or all of us, right, have for one another, or I'm sorry, for ourselves, each of us have it, and we don't consciously choose it. It's like running software into a computer. And until you sit back and consciously choose it, you think it's who you are. And people, the strongest pull, right, Tony talks about it all the time, that we have is what our identity is for ourselves.
Yes.
So where I was like, no, I'm this way.
Yes.
Right? I'm this way. You're like, no, I'm not going to listen to that. This is who I am.
Yes.
I'm this, right?
Yes.
And so it's utterly ridiculous, though. The question is, does that serve you?
Nope.
So why not change the software? So ready? So I would, let's say, for example, I've been in different situations where I felt people were disrespectful. So I had a rule that, people were disrespectful. I had to teach them a lesson, confront them, because other people would be strong enough, and I had to do something about it. Until my kids cried. For the fourth time it happened, where I almost got a physical altercation because people were being jerks and disrespectful. And they did things that were disrespectful in front of my children. So I thought, that's a rule construct that really wasn't serving anybody's interest. Right? So if you don't and then we kind of run into these things and get in these spots, and once we consciously choose this, we have a much better chance of getting the things that we want. And the things that we want, by the way, aren't cars, houses, right? They're states, they're connections with people, right? It's a higher, right? And listen, and then you go, well, you build business, and don't you want to make money? Of course. I do. But the question is why, and what are you doing with it? Would you agree?
Yes, what are you going to do with the money? I want to make money because I want to give back to people.
Yeah.
I want to educate people.
And because you want to live a rich life for your family.
Yes.
Meaning an abundant life, and do things and experience and make magical moments.
Yes.
So listen, long video, right? It's 3 o'clock in the morning, forgive us. But the bottom line of this entire thing is really think about choosing your rules and taking your rules on. So for example, if your rule for love is that somebody has to say this, do that, in this order, on this day, this often, you're gonna feel unloved most of the time.
Sounds conditional.
Right? Conversely, this is an example, a million different, it could be any values that you have. If you're experiencing love, anytime you encounter another human being, anytime you connect to things that resonate inside your heart, right? Anytime you think of any memory that was happy, right?
Just make it easy.
Make it easy, right?
No more rules.
Right, and for Rob, what he was saying was he had all these rules because people heard him and about who's for real and how I value it and all that, and that was helping you protect yourself.
Yes, it was.
But miss out on a lot of amazing people.
Yes, it did.
Right, and so.
And you've been telling me privately that we're going to confront certain things that I'm ashamed of, right?
Yeah.
And then we're going to embrace them and own them and use them as my champion, or how I broke through, and that's part of this.
And brother, you have nothing to be ashamed of.
Yes,
that's the truth, right? That is the truth. So listen, tomorrow I honor you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Nicole.
Thank you.
Love you, little shugs.
Nicole,
right?
You just hold it down.
You're the
Right.
best.
So let's
You
say
hold
one
it
final
down.
line of little shugs. Let's get that, Rob. Can you grab that?
Yeah.
We'll let little shugs sign us off.
Come on in here, Shugs.
Come on.
You go in here.
Let's go, little dynamite.
Kid Dynamite.
Little
Kid,
firecracker.
that's what he used to call Tyson. Kid Dynamite. Kid Dynamite.
So, what's up, little shugs?
Little firecracker.